Hi you guys, welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and today is the day that I share what I purchased from the Southern Comforts Fiber Market. So, quick updates on what's going on. Our house in Charlotte sprung a leak, so I have been back and forth from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, trying to get all that taken care of. I did spend Wednesday here in Columbia, but I spent most of the day doing laundry and trying to chill out because I was exhausted. We're still selling the house. We're still closing on the house. Everything's moving forward, but we've had to have a stay on showings just because we sprung a leak. It's not a plumbing leak or anything like that. It'll be a quick and easy fix. It's just time. So I will be in Charlotte on Monday with my general contractor to fix that. That is also why the video of the vendors I didn't preview it or edit it or anything else because I forgot my headphones and couldn't listen to the video. So anyway, we are here for this. Saturday, we will have a crafty chat hopefully coming up. And we may have a crafty chat next Saturday that kind of continues some other similar themes, but definitely stop by and check that out. So I bought some things. So I have made like a $250 dent in my stash doing $1 for every 100 grams that yada, yada, yada. I also gave myself a $200 yarn limit with my birthday. My birthday was yesterday, so I am now officially 40. Big full zero. So yeah, I got to purchase some things. I did limit some of my purchasing, but I do have quite a few things still in here. So first off, I went to Fairy Tale Yarn Co. and I purchased a mini set. And this is one of those, you know, once again, perfect Carrie colors, purple, aqua, pink. So this one is the Pegasus 5 mini set, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 460 yards, 3.5 ounces, fingering weight yarn, machine wash, leaf flat to dry. So I don't know what that will be incorporated into, but it will be something absolutely lovely, I'm sure. Then we have, let's do the fleece bag. So I limited myself a lot on the fleece just because I still have not had a whole lot of time to do a whole lot of spinning, especially with this move. It just kind of threw everything cattywampus. So I did make a purchase. This is from Fiber Artist Yarn Spinner. Vanessa is the one that does the spinning, has the spinning book that was in the video, and I cannot for the life of me remember her shop name off the top of my head. It will be in the description box down below. She's the one that had the beautiful drop spindles that were epoxy resin with the little custom bits in there. And she said she does take some custom orders for some of those. She does a lot of things in batches. So I thought that was adorable. But I did, once again, I mean, how could I say no to a hot pink theme here? So we got that. I keep calling this vampire blood because that's what it makes me think of, because my brain's already thinking Halloween. But this is from Fold Out Cat. The colorway is At the Diner. This is 2.5 ounces. This is Merino, Angelina, and Bamboo. It is absolutely soft, absolutely shimmery. Once again, Fold Out Cat does a lot of impactful color fun. I did not catch a video, again, second year in a row, of them carding fibers. Their booth has custom options, so you can card a bat and they will blend a bat for you out of your custom combinations that they have there at the show, which I think is awesome because you could totally get your own colorway done. I just purchased one of the pre-mades again, but to me this just screams vampire blood or Halloween vampire. The last fleece I bought, I think, yeah, bag's empty after this, is from Hillside Farms. So this one is 100%, it says Finn and Cornwall, 10% silk. I got 4 ounces, which is what I got last year in the 70s colorway. And I cannot remember the name of this colorway. But I think what I'm going to do, so that one is green, brown, and I think there's like a little bit of gold or rust in there. So I'm going to lean really into that 1970s color palette, harvest gold, avocado green, brown, chocolate brown. And I'm going to finish spinning that, apply it with this, and maybe a khaki. But it's like the same green is in that one, and the same reddish rust color is in that one. So I am going to apply this with the 1970s wool that I got last year, that 70s wool, and probably pair it. I don't want to go cream or natural. I think I do think I want something that's a little bit more of a khaki tone. So maybe next year that'll be what I'm looking for. Hopefully I'll have a chance to finish spinning this up though. So this is on my, it's on my Ashford actually. So I'm very excited. I really want to finish it. I almost brought the wheel back with me, but I realized I had the fleece boxed up and I couldn't get to the fleece. So there was no point to bringing the wheel down. But there is a plan for that one specifically, and I'm very excited about it. But the family that own Hillside, they're so charming. I love talking to her, and she, like, I don't know. They tickle me pink. They're people that you just immediately like for some reason, and they're definitely in that zone. But they're the ones that have like the little mini hanks of the yarn spun up, and then they have the knitted swatches of the hand spun yarn knitted up. I love the way they do that because the way their fleece is done and the way the fibers are done, you might not necessarily be able to see in your mind how it's going to spin up, much less how it's going to work up. So I really like the fact that they have both swatches there. Now, I do have to say, while the colors have a very, you would expect natural, almost kind of coarse look to them, it is spinning like a dream. And as a new spinner, having something that drafts and spins so easily and so beautifully, it's definitely a huge pro for me. But I really have been enjoying spinning their wool. I cannot wait to see how this works up, because I think the combination of those plied together is going to be pretty spectacular. But it's definitely heavily leaning into that 70s aesthetic, which I'm all for. All right, back to yarns. So other than my fade in a mystery bag, this is the rest of my yarn. I could have literally fit it all in there. Quite easily. So we have the fairy tale yarn. Then I purchased this. This is from Skybrook Farm in Mocksville, North Carolina. If you guys have been around the park with me before, you will know how shocked I am that somebody is from Mocksville, North Carolina, because nobody knows where that is except for like a handful of people. And it's a suburb of the Winston area now, but that's where my grandmother lived when I was growing up. So I spent quite a bit of time in Mocksville. The ladies here, there's one spinner, one breeder, absolutely precious, sweet people. I loved talking to them. But I'm thinking about pairing this. I've got some other yarns that are more saturated in color, and I'm thinking about pairing this to do kind of more of a Carrie color palette, but for fall. Or pairing this with something very bright and intense and doing like a color work or mosaic work pattern. I haven't decided, but I had a very specific idea in mind for it. Next up we have Queen City Yarn, and I did make a group purchase from them. I did go in with a mindset of I want to buy a project, even though I don't know what that project is. So I have a feeling this will probably be either a shawl or a summer top. This is their new Lotta yarn. This is 100% non-superwash merino and rambouillet. This is the color Sundrop, and it looks just like the Sundrop soda. This is Paloma Tar. And this is a beautiful, I mean, you can see some of the tonal elements to this. Absolutely gorgeous. Love it. And then this one is Teal Feather. I almost bought, they had the Mega Hanks. I almost bought the Mega Hank and these two colors together. But she had actually, I know I saw it, and I know in the back of my brain had these things together, but she had used these, except instead of the tar, she had used off-white to knit a sample sweater. And she was wearing a sweater in the Sundrop color on day 2. But I love this combination. I'm more of a, like I've said, gray tends to be my neutral go-to. Black tends to be what I wear on my bottoms most of the time. So, I mean, even the cardigan I chose to go over my dress today is gray. So, I don't know if it's going to be a top or if it's going to be a shawl yet. But that was purchased to go together in a set. Up next. So, this is Gypsy. It's not Gypsy Mountain Magic. I can't remember. I don't have my card here that tells me the shop names. I will have the shop names in the description box down below. But I absolutely love this fall palette. I love the usage of the teal with the brown and the rust. This is way more my mom, like her color palette, but this will be something for me, I'm sure. This is, it says 80-10-10 merino cashmere nylon, 80 yards, 20 grams, 400 yards, 100 grams for the whole set. Oh, there it is. Gypsy Mountain Farm. She does have a sticker on it. Maybe if I open my eyeballs today. So these are per sheet, and she does the dyeing. This is the one where one side of the shop had the bags and the tools, and her daughter does those. She does the animal breeding and or animal rearing and dyeing. But I just love that palette for some reason. Like, that's one of those things that's really been speaking to me, is that teal with the autumn colors. Normally I tend to pick teal or aqua to go with like my pink, purple, blue, but I'm really loving it. It really speaks to me in that autumn palette too. I don't know why, like, that's what I'm latching on to this year, but for some reason, that's where my brain is going. So up next, this is the pottery. Starts with an R. I said it in the video from Tuesday where I did the vendor walkthrough. I just lost my word. I believe it's Japanese. It's a style of firing that gives you a metallic sheen. It starts with an R, and my brain just totally dumped. But I did get the ornament, since one of the things I'll be doing here in the next couple months is decorating a brand new craft room. And I do have a couple other ornaments or small pieces like this that I have been picking up over the last couple of years. I do want to create a wall of art using things like this, or making a swag where I'm hanging these specific pieces from. But she is absolutely fascinating. She's a Clemson graduate. We're not going to hold that against her. But they really love that area up there in the Oconee County area and stuff. And there's a huge arts community building from Northwest South Carolina going up into the Appalachian Mountains and stuff, swinging up through Asheville. Like, that entire arts community is starting to expand in those areas. And I hope that they find a good house up there that they really love, where she can continue making beautiful pieces like this. I spent a lot of time talking to vendors. It was a lot of fun. So the last at random purchase I made is going back to the Fiber Studio. I absolutely love their yarns. I love the way they do their displays. So I have gone in their store in Charlotte a number of times to make purchases. I've bought from them for multiple shows. They participate in the Charlotte area yarn crawl. So if you're planning on participating in that, this is one of the shops that will be there. I think they have one of the most clever setups. So they have the big racks, and everything on the racks is kind of in groupings to create like color palettes from. And they literally wheel their store out when they do these shows and wheel the store back in. I think it's brilliant. But I did get a mini set from them. I have not done one of their minis before, and I was really feeling the pink. Go figure. But I also purchased a 3-color color palette from them. And this is what I got. And I don't think I did this exactly, but I did something very similar when I went to their shop for Knit in Public Day. Or maybe it was last year when I went in the spring. I can't remember, but this is their DK weight, I believe. Their fingering. This is Walkabout Fingering, content 100% superwash merino, 4 ounces, 113 grams, approximately 490 yards. And this is the colorway April Showers. So once again, it's that perfect Carrie wheelhouse color combination. And then this one is Wedgwood. And this one is Tea Rose. So this will definitely, more than likely, be a shawl. Some sort of variation on mosaic or striping or something like that, where we have the colors constantly kissing each other, because it looks great this way, it looks great this way, it looks great this way. Like, there's no way you can combine these 3 hanks and not have like a stunning palette. So the last store that I went to, I did not get footage of because there were repeatedly people in the bus, but Yarn Yogi was back this year, and I did hit up her shop. She was the last shop I went to. I kept trying to get footage, and every time I went in to get footage, there were like 900 people either trying to get in or get out. And I'm trying to not be intrusive, even though I'm being very intrusive filming vendors. But I did get her last 2 skein mystery bag, or 2 hank mystery bag. I did go ahead and pre-open this because I couldn't wait. So first off in here, we have a couple stitch markers, and once again, we know Carrie loves the light bulb markers just because they're nice, easy, and convenient. And the 2 yarns I got are these. Which once again, we're in that like, wow. And these would also pair beautifully. I've got a single skein of Hedgehog sitting at the house, and I think that would be smashing if I did a tricolor with these. But this is I'm not sure the company, because I'm not familiar with this logo, but it's Ing Fiber is all I can make out from it. This is the High Twist BFL 100% superwash BFL wool, 100 grams, so it's going to be like 100 or 400 and something yards. This is the colorway Salt, and this is Lightning. And with this, she also included some different pattern options that she's made out of these style yarns. She's also got a Zoom stitch night that you can join in on. I love the whole concept of the Yarn Yogi bus. I love the yarn she carries. She carries some beautiful things, and most of them are in that perfect Carrie colorway, that perfect Carrie palette. Even though like this is not that pink blue aqua thing that like the studio is, where it's like that watercolor beautiful. This is the other side of my color palette where it's bright in your face. Ah, look at me. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to pair it with my single skein of Hedgehog yet. I do also have a Lolo Did It that would look very good with this. And I also have some Queen City yarn that would pair very well with this. So I've got quite a few things in my stash that I could expand this into a much larger color palette than just the 2 skeins. But I thought it was a lot of fun to do a mystery bag. A lot of places, I've done mystery bags before. She now works for Queen City Yarn. The first year of the Southern Comfort Fiber Market, she was there, and I can't remember the name of her company that she did on her own as a dyer. It's not Knitwit. It's something like that though. I did her sock mystery bag year 1, but there weren't a whole lot of mystery bags there. I love me a good mystery pick because it does also stretch me as far as like making me look at the colors and the yarns slightly differently and looking at adding yarns into a project slightly differently. So I learn a lot when I do these mystery grab bag kind of things, especially when it's set up to be a pair like that, of how to use those together to make a design or to pick a pattern to go with them. I did go through the patterns she suggested, and while all of them are beautiful, I don't think that's what I want to do with these. So I am going to have to sit down and kind of really hone in on what I want to do. But I love these together. Once again, I mean, it would go perfectly with my dress today, actually. I mean, it just goes with a wild and crazy combination. So the last thing I want to share with you guys in this video is my fade. So I'm going to pop a picture of the pattern up here. I went in to the fiber market this year with the intention of buying a 6-color fade to make this sweater. I shared this with you in a show and tell 2 weeks ago, and so first off, I want to share that I did get a bag. I use this specifically to carry my yarn around. This will be what I make my sweater in. This will be the sweater bag. This is a fade of the show, and I am very pleased at how this turned out. So I am doing the fingering weight, and I'm going to walk you through how this came together shop to shop. So first off, we went to the fiber studio and I picked this yarn, and I'm pretty sure this is the yarn they dyed for the show, or this is their seasonal yarn for the season this year. This is Industrial Plum, and this is on their studio sock space. So this is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 100 grams, 440 yards. So that is our first starting point. Now, I fell in love as soon as I saw this. I'm pretty sure I shared this with you when I did the initial walkthrough of the market, because they were the first shop when you first walked in. But I'm pretty sure I honed in on the big bucket of these. But the reason why I picked it is there were lots of different ways we could go with the fade in this yarn. We've got purples, we've got pinks, we've got reds, we've got yellows, we've got oranges, we've got green. So this picked up a whole bunch. I love that section where you can really see those bronzes and golds and everything coming together and making this beautiful green. It has something very natural and neutral about it, but at the same time has a lot of vavoom pop to it. So this is where we started. My next stop to start building the fade was Passion Yarns, and this is the yarn that I chose to go with this. So when she saw it the first time, this is what she saw, and she's kind of like, I was like, no, it's a fade. It'll be with other things, it'll be a fade. And she's like, oh, no, then that works. But this is a little jarring because we go with like the hot pink with a little bit of speckling and tonal in there with this now this feels very neutral once I pull that pink in. So our next stop was back over, and this is Passion Yarns. This is Beloved Fingering Weight, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 463 yards, 100 grams. Love is in the air as the colorway. So 1, 2. Next stop ended up being Fairy Tale again. So we went to Fairy Tale Yarn Co. This is Queen's Fingering, 100% superwash merino, 490 yards, fingering weight, machine washed or lie flat dry. Poor Unfortunate Souls is the colorway. So we have, this is definitely purple tonals, but there's definitely some of that pink kind of pops through here. So this is where we were. So now we're pulling more of the purples and pinks out of that original color, and it really starts to make those copper tones kind of fade into the background just a little bit, but it still grounds the brightness of the two pairing yarns, but they are creating some sort of a visual balance. So this is where I left off on Friday. I got booted out. I was there too long. Saturday, I ended up having to meet a repairman back in Charlotte. So I had come back to Columbia Friday night, drove back to Charlotte on Saturday, realized I had plenty of time to still run the half hour back up. So I decided to finish my fade. And actually, I forgot I did get something from Cardinal, which I want to come back to. So I really focused on the next thing I wanted to do was start trying to pull in the neutral tones out of our first yarn, because now we've pulled out the pink, we've pulled out the purple. I really wanted something to start bringing out those natural neutral tones. So next up, I went to Briar Patch Fiber Company, and this is what I got from them. So it's brown. We've got kind of that goldish khaki tone. We have that beautiful, more neutral pink, and you kind of like pop some little like gold and orange towards the end there. So this is Hermes. This is 75% BFL, 25% nylon, superwash, 4-ply, 464 yards. Obviously suggestion to hand wash, but that was color 4. So we're really, really, really now starting to ground this with those browns and coppers, but we're not hiding at all from the pinks and purples. So we've got our first 4 colors. The next one ended up being very, very hard. Trying to come up with this one and color number 5 was very difficult because I was looking to create balance, contrast, but still pairing. And I didn't want to stray off of where we're doing neutrals, pink and purple based on our original color down here. So I had gone back repeatedly to Robin's Promise and could not make a decision of what I wanted to go with. Where did I want to go next? My initial response is I really didn't want to lean necessarily heavily on the brighter tones in here, but I didn't know where I wanted to go. When I got this yarn that really leaned super heavy into the neutral and more muted palettes from the original yarn, I was able to pull this yarn. This one has a lot more speckling in it. Once again, we are picking up some of those goldy orange tones in the speckling. We have some of the more saturated purple tones in here, but it's definitely a pink speckled yarn. So this one is Songbird Fingering. This is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 100 grams, 463 yards. And this is Tulupa? Or tulip? I don't know. But that's how that paired in. It's getting so hard to hold and show you guys. This was the problem, is I kept trying to match the colors, bring the colors in. So it does match very heavily to this and kind of blend a little bit further. But when you start moving the yarns in different orders, that kind of becomes a standalone blending color. But that's where we are after 5 colors. Now I could have stopped here, but my goal in doing a fade for the show was 6 colors. The pattern is written up to 6 colors, plus there's the scrappy version, so I could have done like 25 different, mini skeins or something. But I was really looking to be able to heavily focus on different vendors. So the last thing I picked up, it was the last place I went where I found something that worked perfectly, and this was from Yarn Yogi. This is La Bien Aimée. And once again, we're leaning more towards the purple. So kind of like how we went in the first section. But we do have specks of the brown, the gold. There's a little bit of yellow in there. It's blending and touching on those neutral colors, but isn't at all primarily focusing on the neutrals. So the last two yarns kind of pulled out more of the pastel versions, but included speckling and bits of that original colorway. So I'm not sure the order I'm going to move in. I want to make sure that I'm keeping things kind of separated out just a little bit. I'm going to stand up and see if I can get a better... This is what will be my fade altogether. Like I said, this isn't necessarily the order they'll go in, but this is a 2 at a time fingering weight marl fade. So the colors should truly blend and fade into each other. I cannot wait to cast this on. I don't have the bandwidth to think my way through another sweater pattern right now. I have not been working on the sweater. I started already. But I just absolutely cannot believe how well all of this came together, and every single color that I picked up secondary is included in here. Now, I do wish I could have found something that had a little bit more of the green in it, but I'm very happy with how that briar patch picks out the brown and kind of helps bring just a little bit more calm to all those pinks and purples in there. But I really did want to find something that had a little bit more of like the olive green in it, which was hard. But we do have a lot of those colors still represented in this distinctly purple and in that distinctly pink speckled from Robin's Promise. So that is going to be my fade. Now my goal is to have this done and ready to wear by next year's show. So I've got 12 months to make this sweater. So I should be able to do that. I am so excited though. I cannot wait. I know I don't have the brain power and the bandwidth to start this right now, but I cannot wait to be moved into the new house and at least 50% situated so I can get to work. So that is my fade. I also purchased, the bag is from Yours Design. For some reason, yellow called my name. There were a number of other bags that should have called my name, but yellow called my name. This does have the center in here. So we'll easily be able to separate what I'm working on currently, what's on deck, and then my skeins. But I did buy this specifically, once again, to carry on the fate of the show concept. This is the bag I will use to carry the project in. It just looks so interesting all together here. I was telling my mom, it's like, if you don't watch any of my other videos for the rest of the week, you have to watch the one coming out on Thursday because you will not believe what I put together for a sweater fade. So all of those will be blended together into the sweater, and I'm very excited. The last thing I got was a set of stitch markers from Cardinal Woodworking. So I've told you guys, I think Sue and her husband have a hilarious sense of humor, and I love their stitch markers. Every year I get a set of markers from them, and this year we did sloths. I've got their sheep in a tin, I've got their cats, and I've now got sloths. So no telling what next year's stitch markers will be. I do love me a wooden stitch marker. They're so lightweight, but they're very obvious and generally don't tend to like stick in the work, and these are very well cut. They don't snag anything. So those are in my bag and will be used for my sweater project as well. So we're really carrying through this entire theme of creating a project based on the entire show. So I think Erica and I are going to try to do a mosaic project at some point as a collaboration. And then we're also, once I have the brain space to be able to start working on my sweater, we will be doing that. So bear with me as I work on getting all of the links to all the companies that I purchased from. bear with me while I get those put into the description box. The goal is to get those put into the description box, though, hopefully by the time this uploads. But it's me we're talking about. Sometimes it happens right, sometimes it doesn't. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful, fantastic day. As always, I love you guys. Please take care of yourselves, and I will see you guys real soon. Bye, guys.